What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. Today, I've got 4 videos for you guys, but let's kick it off by talking about the latest updates in the space. And just remember, before we get into any of this, I'm not a financial advisor. You got to do your own research. So, as you know, we have a private group, and that is really to get the extra coaching, guidance, and support. So, if you want that, we got 2 ways to join. Patreon's cheaper, sort of you decide what you want to do. But no matter what you do, I really recommend that you guys watch my video on my complete strategy to maximize your crypto gains in this cycle. I'm telling you guys, it's worth the watch. I know it's 42 minutes, but I think it's probably my most impactful video to date. Honestly, like, I don't get anything out of making this video. I really sort of put this out there to really help frame everything that we do in this cycle. And just by knowing a lot of what's in there, you'll have an understanding of why I do what I do and sort of the sort of thought process behind it. So that's really why I recommend it, because it's kind of like the fundamental understanding that I at least have of this space. Now, that being said, let's just get into sort of the topic. So I do apologize because some of these things are maybe a couple days old, but I don't have the time to make videos all the time. I have to prioritize the private group. So they got this information as it came out. The first thing I want to make sure you guys know is it's important to make money. Yes, very important. But even more important is to protect the money that you have. This is why I'll always tell someone, if somebody random is messaging you who, you didn't specifically message them to say, hey, I need help. This goes for sort of Discord, sort of support, whatever. Just be wary on what they give you. Don't click on any links. Do not give your password. Don't do any of that. Definitely don't sign any contracts. Official teams will never do this. I've seen so many people, even in my private group, have told me they've gotten burned in the past. And what I do in the private group is I try to be that filter. So for example, instead of them having to go get the details, I will go get it for them. I would have no problem doing that. Obviously, it may be more challenging as the group grows. I believe we're at around 65 to 70 people right now. But at least right now, I try to manage it for everyone and get them the links and stuff that they've got to follow. That's sort of my approach. But obviously, if you don't have, you want to be part of the group or you want to do your own thing, just be wary of this. That being said, in this case, a lot of us have been signing contracts on a it's called account abstraction, and this is the Paymaster program exclusive to ZK Sync. Now, not saying it's a bad thing, but one of the things you have to realize is part of the code, because most of us sort of don't read the code, is that it gives you unlimited approvals. So we already talk about on this channel, you never want to sort of put a max approval on anything. Why? Because while the project, the protocol may be legit, if they ever get hacked, and we've seen it happen so many times, if something happens on their side, they can pull the funds you've approved, and all of a sudden it doesn't matter. That protocol is just going to issue an apology and go, hey guys, that's crypto. So if that's you, just be aware of this. I've included the thread here, and sort of that's kind of what it talks about, because that's sort of the entire approval flow, because it sort of goes through all of this. Not every single transaction will do this, but just in case, I want you to go to revoke.cash, links in the description below. Go to your ZK Sync account. So you just click here, click on that, and literally go and revoke any transaction that you have that looks sort of out of place, especially those that are for like unlimited amounts of money. So I'm just going to go in here and type in my wallet address to show you how this is done. So you can see here, this is the browngent.eth. And what I'll do here is let me now click on this. I'm on the ZK Sync era. I'm now looking at approved amounts. So in this case, I have an unlimited approval transaction. This was account extraction through Paymaster, but I only have 0.005 FANG. I won't own any more of this, so I'm not revoking it. I'm not paying the gas. Same thing with Libertas. I have unlimited, but I don't have any of the token. Don't care. Moody Mites, unlimited. I sold mine. Don't care. USDC, unlimited in these cases. For these protocols, none. So I am not in sort of the hurry. The only time it should matter is if you have an unlimited transaction and you have some decent amount of coin. Like, I don't have anything to sort of allow anyone to take a ton of tokens from me from something I own. But remember, Obviously, like if you're not going to always monitor this, maybe it's just better to remove the approval, but please get on this because it's so important. I don't want to see anything happen to you guys because Paymaster is fantastic. We're doing this for the airdrop. Don't put yourself at risk. Now, Joshi is one of many sort of Twitter creators, has been a little controversial in the past because he has inadvertently pushed people toward rug pulls. I don't think it was intentional, but I'm just posting this as one of many examples of what I continue to see around people perpetuating this whole ZK Sync airdrop, trying to tell you the snapshot was taken on the end of February. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but this is not the information I'm going to use to decide whether or not I continue. What I'm going to do, in fact, is take a look at Etherscan, which is sort of your gas tracker. By looking at Etherscan, sorry, I don't know why I'm saying that wrong. By looking at that, you can actually see, well, when the gas is low, it can be worthwhile to sort of push a transaction or two in there. I'm going to talk to you in a little bit, like later today, on how to do that video. Not a video, sorry, how to sort of improve your gas performance and maximize so you're not spending more than you're getting. But just so you guys know, I'm full transparency. I share the big wallet that I do my airdrops on publicly with you guys. Most people won't do that. Look, I'm still farming ZK Sync. Like I practice what I preach. You can see here, everyone's saying the airdrop finished around here. Well, I'm still pushing some transactions close to 60 days, and I'm at a 91% on this metric, whatever it continues. The next thing I want to talk about is Blast airdrop. So I think you guys know I made a video about this months ago. I made an update video last week. Really the first part of the pre-launch campaign was around just depositing liquidity and spinning that wheel. Obviously, it was a very similar program to Manta. The way it diverges is upon the launch. So, let's say you've withdrawn your Blast from your Ethereum mainnet. You paid your $30 or $40 tax, whatever it was, and you've got your Blast now on the network. You now get paid X amount of points for, how much token or Ethereum and USDB, which is their Blast native USD token. That's how much you get per hour. Now, if you want to increase that, you can bridge over. Here's my strategy. So there are 12 multipliers, and basically they're not live yet. They go live on the 12th. So there's 12 different protocols. All right, you see here, there are 4 that are locked until March 12th. So what I'm going to do is I'm not putting liquidity on here yet in a significant manner. My plan is to find out what these 4 are. All you have to do is just do one transaction. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Most of them have a swap feature or a liquidity deposit and withdraw feature. Just be careful you read which protocol policies they have, because in most cases or some cases, they won't let you withdraw until a mainnet launch. But the easy way to get around this is just do it for $1. It doesn't matter, or like 10 cents or whatever. Get the multiplier. As the multiplier increases, then it becomes more worthwhile to bridge over more ETH and earn more points. That's what I'll be doing across the board. Not just that, but in these airdrop campaigns, you see here they give points. Most of their points actually dwarf in comparison to what you get just by holding it here. Some cases may be a little different. The real gameplay will really be around how do we get gold, right? So gold is just distributed to some of these platforms, and they're allowed to give it out. Some, they haven't said, may give it out kind of retroactively, and some might do it in the future. If I was to guess and how a lot of these protocols are using any marketing ability this cycle to move forward, I would assume that they are going to use it as a reward for future behavior versus past, because they want to bring more liquidity and more people to their protocol. That's why I'm not focusing on putting anything into these protocols right now. I hope that sort of makes sense. Now, one of the things I do mention, and sort of, one of the bonuses of being in the special sort of member group, is that you have access to an ever-changing spreadsheet where I sort of share a lot of information. In this case, I'm starting to build up a place where you can map out where you want to have your liquidity stored. So in this case, on Solana, it's Parcel and Camino Finance. In sort of EVM, it's all about Blast right now. Of course, that doesn't mean it's the only one. And then we got the sort of Stride Dimension protocol whenever they launch. So, I'm going to start mapping this out. One of the goals here, regardless of whether you're part of the group or not, is just have an idea, strategically, where should I have funds ready? What should I be doing? This is sort of what a lot of corporations do. And, I work for a high-end pharmaceutical company. And part of that is having a lot of KPIs and strategy and looking not just like a day in advance, but looking like, a year, 2 years, 3 years in advance. As I mentioned, Stride is looking to launch their Stride Dimension token. This will be much like Stride TIA. I mentioned this, March 1st when they announced this, but we're still waiting to know when this is going to come live. My whole thing here is I want to get in early and get out fast, because once again, the amount you'll make sort of depreciates over time. Once it's available, Dimension will be part of this drop down on the Stride zone, and you can select it. And just to sort of go through this, you can see here, if I connect my wallet, I was only on here for about a week and a bit, maybe 2 weeks, and I earned 75 Stride token with probably like 90% of that coming in the first few days. That's how badly it got. This is more of a reminder to you guys, but continue farming Linear Park. Their last of the social world quests went live yesterday or 2 days ago. In my opinion, it's a fade only because they require you to download something. The other 7 don't. And as you can see here, I've already got 600 LXP from doing this, guys. Don't sleep on this. Ethereum L2s are probably the best thing to sort of liquidity farm, or not even liquidity farm, just farm their airdrops. One more thing I want to just reemphasize, guys. I mentioned this last week, but please get your orderly trading in if you haven't already. You can sort of deposit and withdraw and start earning those sort of NFTs. I have it on my schedule to sort of get at least to 100K. As you can see here, only 11,000 people so far have this NFT, 5,000 have this NFT, 2,000 have this NFT. And as we go down and it gets higher and higher, only 1 million people, of course, did 144 and, 5 million, 16. These NFTs will be worth a pretty penny if sort of what we've seen comes true like the other protocols. Guys, don't sleep on it. Orderly is big. Also, CC2 Ventures really put me onto this. He's been talking about this for a long time. So there are ways you can game this. Obviously, leverage is huge here, and if you do it for a short period of time. But I don't want to really give anyone any ideas to go crazy and blow up their account unless they know what they're doing. So just be very careful here. This is something where I'm just going to have some funds over on Arbitrum in this case, on Arbitrum. And I'm just going to sort of just do these sort of Ethereum longs and shorts, basically just longs for the most part, but doing it kind of like at the 3,900 range versus the other, and just going back and forth and sort of earning the volume like you see here, just buying and selling. So that's sort of what I'm doing on Wi-Fi protocol. That's one of the two. The other one you can do it with is LogX, and LogX actually has an airdrop coming. And many of you have done a few campaigns in the past if you followed this channel. Like I said, I'm not here to distract. That's why I'm not really putting too much focus on it. But if you've gone here, just check your rewards out. Links in the description. You'll earn some, and then you can click on claim NFTs if you haven't already, just to see if there's any NFTs you can claim. This will multiply the airdrop that you get, and it's based on any campaigns you've completed. So check that out. I think that is worthwhile, okay? One more thing I want to mention, and shout out to one of my buddies who mentioned this on Twitter. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name, so I won't. But he messaged me last week and told me about this Runestone NFT. And I'll be honest, like I said, I have to prioritize. I have not been looking at ordinals in a long time, but Leonidas, and by the way, it's ironic because I wasn't following Leonidas on this account when this first happened, but I did still follow him on my previous account from the last cycle. He was really into like the history of crypto, history of Ethereum NFTs. I got a couple historic NFTs on another account because of some of the guidance he provided me in his own Discord. This was like, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Anyway, so basically they sold a Runestone for 8 Bitcoin, and basically 100% of the proceeds are going to the Runestone airdrop initiative. And the way it works is if you have at least 3 ordinal inscriptions, obviously you can't do it anymore, but if you have at least 3 of them on Bitcoin, they're going to airdrop a runestone to you. And basically it's kind of done, very slowly because of sort of block considerations. It's like 1,400 runestones going out every single block. You don't have to claim anything. So if someone sends you a link, it's fake. The reality of what he's doing is really cool. Just sending it truly to your address without having to connect to anything or anything else like that. So if you got it, if you qualified, well, you'll get one in your wallet. And sort of make sure you check on sort of Leonidas's NFT Twitter account just to ensure that, you know if it went out or not, if they're done. Because sometimes it takes a little longer, like, I've started to see with Amber, Amber token from the Nabla Finance protocol. One more thing here, I mentioned this, and one of the things I noticed is if I don't compile all of these into one video, it gets less views. Hydra Finance, and it was more of a strategy video. I told you guys in that video, don't jump in right away. Part of the strategy here is we sit here and wait. We got almost 4 days remaining to see how much higher this subscription goes. At 400%, I know 100% of the time I will be jumping into this and subscribing a ton of injective because there's a lot of momentum. If you want more details on that, I made a video specifically outlining the strategy. Below 400 and where we are right now, it'll be a judgment call that I'll take at the time. So just something to keep in mind. If you want more details, I have a video on this. I mentioned this last week, but the NFT or the WEN NFT marketplace, their OG Pass mint had actually got delayed by 5 days. So it should have happened yesterday. So fear not if you forgot about it or you didn't get a chance to look at it. Just put this in your calendar. 4 days and 22 hours. When I looked in the public Discord for them, they had over 15,000 people who tried to get on the whitelist for 3 spots. So there's a lot of excitement around this. So if you can get this near minted, I really think you could probably just flip it really fast for a ton of cash. It's free. Have your calendars ready. I know by telling this, I make my competition even more great, but it doesn't matter. I'm here to support you guys. And hey, if somebody else gets it, fantastic. I'm happy for you. So just make sure you have this in your calendar. Obviously, if it doesn't whitelist mint out, there's 3,000 left. But hey, this should be worth a pretty penny and it's free. And finally, one more thing I will say. I was involved in the portal kind of social media experience thing, probably 4 to 6 months ago. In that time, what they did was they just made you interact with a ton of tweets. You saw a ton of spam. This time around, I'm going to approach this very differently. So March 8th, they made an announcement that you can start farming block. And all you have to do is start just tagging block and, putting at block, at get block games. Remember, there's only one real account. There's a ton of people trying to do fake accounts with fake wallet addresses. This is why I say it's so important to follow sort of the accounts that you trust. I put a link to this sort of in the description as well. My advice to you, especially if you don't want to annoy people and sort of what I will be doing, I'm going to be doing this on a separate Twitter account because it also does get full access to your Twitter. So you have to be safe as well. So that is sort of my approach. I'm literally going to outsource this to another wallet. So you're not going to see any blog posts from me. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. And we're going to jump into the next one. We'll see you right there. Have a good one. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe, sort of share the video with someone that you know. We're almost at 9,000 subscribers. See you in the next video.